I got all set with my own timer because I just don't trust timers, but I've got one right in front of me, so I don't need to look at that. That's always good. Oh, how is everyone today? Feeling a bit geeked out? I love it. I feel like I'm amongst my people finally. We're talking about how we use technology to crack the codes of some of our most difficult and dark issues that we don't talk about. But before we go any further, I do have a message from our robot overlords, and they would like to welcome you all to the 5th Industrial Revolution. So if you didn't know it, we are now in Industry 5.0, and if the people that you work with don't know that, that's going to be an interesting take-home little thing for you to take home today and work on. So we are literally moving from the Internet of Things 4.0, where all the sensors, we're all connected and we're all attached to everything at all times. We're all creating digital doppelgangers of ourselves, particularly if you're wearing wearables. Who's wearing a wearable device today? Just want to say, just note the Futurist wears an analog watch. Just going to say that. Just going to say that out loud. So Industry 4.0 started a good 10, 20 years ago, really. And we are hyper-connected, right? We're very, very hyper-connected now. But the next stage is robots are going to be inside us. And so if you're like me and you were raised on science fiction movies of the 1980s, you'll think of Dennis Quaid shrinking down in that machine and going inside Meg Ryan's body. Now, anyone who hasn't seen that movie thinks I'm saying something rude. But in fact, it's quite interesting that our inner spaces are places where we will be finding more personalization. And the reason why I wanted to start with this is because when we look at trying to use new and emerging technologies, we look at what exists now, we look at what the business models are going forwards, and we look at how they are going to scale. The future, Industry 5.0, is incredibly personalized, which means Industry 5.0 could actually be the key maker to removing gender bias from pretty much everything that we do. And I say that as a hopeful, optimistic technologist, in that when you personalize things, they become incredibly personal. And so I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about some of the things that I've seen around virtual worlds and women's wisdom. And one of the things that we have been seeing lately is that we really don't have enough women with voices inside the virtual worlds that are coming. Now, when we talk about virtual worlds, you know I'm going to say the word metaverse. But I don't want to sound like a plonker, so I'm actually going to break it down for you. If anyone ever talks to you about the metaverse, there is only one. It's like Highlander. There can be only one. There's only one metaverse. The metaverse is made up with lots of virtual worlds. Now, who here's got a Twitter account? Twitter is probably a really good example of a proto-metaverse. It's a place online, probably before the current owner bought it, a place online where you could meet with pretty much anyone you wanted, and every now and then a celebrity might like something that you put on there. Like you could reach anyone, and you could talk to anyone. And look at the power of Twitter from that Me Too hashtag. The power of being able to connect with perfect strangers on the other side of the world around key thematics or key dreams or key hopes. Or, you know, I remember, and this is going to sound really strange, everyone seen the Gucci stores in town that have that beautiful marble on them? It's the same marble in every single Gucci store around the world. Before I lose you, there is a technological reason why I'm talking about Gucci. And I actually put a photograph of it on Twitter, and I put hashtag Geology Twitter, where is this marble from? And within about 45 minutes, I had someone actually send me the link to the paper where that marble was actually described. And I thought, there is power in this. This is collective intelligence. But we have a problem in that we don't use the technology that we have with intentionality. We use it with casuality. And so when we look forward now to these virtual worlds, where are the women's voices? Where are the women playing parts in this? If we're personalizing these things, what do we not want weaponized against us? And so I'm going to start with a picture of a woman who looks very different on the left and very different on the right. Now, this is where if there's anyone that's like 25 years and younger, do I need to explain who this person is? I had to do this at a high school once, and I felt myself slip off the mortal coil just an inch. If you're not aware, this is probably one of the best comedic actresses of all time. When Marilyn Monroe was on fire, she was untouchable. Some Like It Hot is probably one of the best films you could ever give yourself the gift to watch. And if you haven't seen it, there's some homework for you. It was a brilliant movie. She was a brilliant actress. She was an incredibly intelligent woman. And that picture of Norma Jean on the left, before she became Marilyn Monroe, was her very first ever photo shoot. Now, I like to put this picture up as often as I possibly can, because what it shows is, in World War II, for Tank magazine, it was demonstrating that our Marilyn, our Norma Jean, worked in a factory in the US that was building something called radio planes. Now, these radio planes are effectively drones, which means I have something in common with Marilyn Monroe. And every opportunity I will mention this. So, why was she building radio planes? They were used as dogfighting practice. We didn't have computer simulators back then for practicing how to attack other people in the air. And so, in preparations of D-Day, they would put up these radio planes, they would fly them around, and the dogfighting Spitfires and the various other aircraft would practice. But we talk about history and we forget her story. Because if I said to you Marilyn Monroe was a drone engineer, you wouldn't understand what I was saying. Because we don't talk about the beautiful diversity of what people achieve in their lives. When we see celebrities, we stereotype. We shrink people down into something that's digestible. What Tarana was saying, we like to gossip. What did she actually, have an affair with JFK or not? Like, who cares? The woman managed to achieve things that most of the women in her generation did not. Legend. Now, going from Marilyn to Ariana Grande, so those under 25 probably now know who I'm talking about. But this is interesting, right? So I mentioned the Gucci stores earlier, and when we look at virtual worlds, there are ones that you, if not, have not seen, your kids are probably playing on. So Minecraft, for example. Everyone heard of Minecraft? Minecraft recently started a collaboration with Gucci, so you can actually visit that Gucci store, complete with the Minecraft marble on the front, and actually experience a Gucci store in a virtual world. This concert that Ariana Grande put together was in Fortnite, but everyone talks about the first one, which was Justin Bieber, that did reasonably well, got a few million people attending it, as one would with Justin Bieber. Then Travis Scott, who's a very controversial figure, he then put one together which had, a good couple of million. I think there was, over the time that he was there was like maybe 20 million people went through his concerts. When Ariana Grande did one, and she was the third person to do one, can anyone tell me, over the week that she put on her online concerts on Fortnite, how many people visited her online concerts? Just anyone, it's in the millions, I just want to hear some numbers. Hazard a guess. I'm hearing 10, 50, it was 78 million people. It's a bit bigger than the MCG. So if you're now a musician, and you're wanting to make money, reaching an audience all over the world. And of course, we know that Ariana Grande had that terrible experience in the UK with the terrorism attack at the stadium there. So I can imagine how something like a virtual space for someone like her would feel like a safer space. And so this idea of having a virtual connection, this woman made tens of millions of dollars off this 1 week. But we don't talk about Ari, we talk about Justin, and we talk about Travis. And no one ever talks about the woman that made more money. It reminds me of the Bechdel test. Now, this one is Marina Abramovic, who's a wonderful performance artist. And she has this piece of performance art which was done with HoloLenses in mixed reality. Mixed reality is when you can see the world around you, but you're looking through a lens like a pair of glasses or sunglasses, so you can see extra there in the room. That particular piece of performance art sold for 560,000 Australian dollars. I am in the wrong industry in academia. I just need to wear a red dress and look at myself in virtual reality. Except it's never that simple because artists are magicians. They tell stories. And without artists, technology is nothing. And the thing that I loved about Marina Abramovic's work to this is she says, you know, you never see yourself in the real world. You look at yourself in the mirror, but it's a reflection. You look at photographs of yourself, but it's a lens. When you see yourself as a virtual reality person standing in front of you, it's a horror show. And I said, darling, well, I've had 2 children. When I walk past the mirror, I think there's someone invaded the house because I just don't recognize what that jabber is in front of me there. But last but not least, I want to just throw some terminology shade here. We don't have the language to put a gender lens on technologies as they go. Everyone's heard of the term android. Did you think that was gender neutral? Android is the masculine term for robots. Gynoid. So nice, isn't it? How's your gynoid today? Oh, I need to reboot it. Okay, so when we look at movies like AI, where they took the sexy robot, we can't have this conversation without having a conversation about the sexy robot. And Alicia Vikander is hot stuff. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman, brilliant actress. Marilyn Monroe of her age, fantastically talented, willing to take on roles that push the button and push the boundaries. In the movie Ex Machina, I quite like that movie. The revenge of the... But it wasn't even a woman, right? It's not even a woman. It was an AI. It wasn't even a human. But we like to anthropomorphize technology. Siri is a woman. Alexa is a woman. Those things that do our bidding on the internet are feminized. They're turned into women because that's what women do. And so we have to stop and go, hang on a second, what language are we learning here? What language is my 3-year-old and 5-year-old? What language are they hearing when we talk about these things? Intentionality is the key behind technology. Intentionality is the key behind Industry 5.0. Intentionality is how we use emerging technologies to crack the code. And intentionality is everything we need to apply when we look at new and emerging and scaling technologies as they become invisible and we sleepwalk through the next industrial revolution. And my time is up. Thank you so much.